welcome to our continued celebration of International Women's Day here at Regalix. Today we're speaking to Kiran Riaz, who's a certified financial planner and portfolio manager at Peak Alpha, and someone I've been lucky to work closely with. Thank you, Kiran, for joining us today.
Thank you so much. True financial independence, Anushri, is nothing but when women are able to take care of their expenses right now, or take care of themselves right now, and also for the future. Because nowadays there's a lot of notion that, hey, I'm able to take care of my expenses on my own. That does not make you financially independent. I'm not dependent on my parents, I'm not dependent on my partner. That's not enough. You need to be able to save for the future, because that's when you actually need the money. If you have saved enough for it, that's what makes you truly financially independent. And see, it's very important because women don't realize it, that there are times where there are chances of women outliving men, right? And towards the end of time, when you actually need money, but you don't need to go to your children or your family members. You have money on your own to take care of yourself when you're old and vulnerable. And plus, divorce cases are on the rise, where people are left in a stage where what to do. I start everything on my own. I may have a child to take care of, or I may have dependent parents also to take care of in between. So the need to have financial independence has been increasing a lot, and women have to step up, because they all feel, we all, I mean, not we all, but most of us feel like it's a man's job to do it, right? Why take care of it? Oh yes, definitely, because see, there are like a good set of people who are still dependent on their spouses for everything finance related. Okay, they don't know what their bank accounts are. They don't know whether they are saving enough for the future. They don't even know what the family's insurance requirement is. What is it? They have no idea about it. So when you're in a situation like that, one set of women are people who don't have access to financial information at all. So you can say that, okay, they don't know what it is. But unfortunately, we are in a world where information is out there, okay, and yet people don't find it. Women don't find it important to say that, let me learn about this, let me understand, let me not just let the man do everything, right? So that is something that women need to catch up on. Like, see, we've got a certain level of independence compared to maybe our earlier generations or our older siblings. Like, maybe we get to study, we can get to study what we want, we work what we want, delay marriage if required, because otherwise it's like, oh, why aren't you married at this age? Or, why now you can continue to work and all of that. But financial independence is still a distant dream for all of us. I do see a lot of young women clients, like in their 20s something, approaching saying that, hey, we want to, before we get married, or, we may get married in the future, but how can we start saving for ourselves right now? And that's something that's really good to hear. So, see, the thing that's happening right now is, right, women are not yet, they don't feel confident that they can take finance decisions on their own. They want that stamp of approval from men to say that, even if you give them some recommendation or something to go about, they would want to check it by their spouse, their brother, or their husband. Their see, that's how it works, right? They feel, I don't know why, but women are not confident. Usually women are way more confident than men, but when it comes to finances, I've seen that most of the cases it isn't like that. And the other thing is, women are very risk averse. Like, it's how we are. Like, we like to be like very safe and prudent about it. That directly goes to the investment choices that they make also. Women end up investing it in FDs. They think that, okay, let's save, let's invest it over there. Okay. Not realizing that FDs are not going to give you decent returns, not going to help you beat inflation, and are not the best tax efficient option out there. So when you do all of this, or they may go for these traditional policies that you see out there, like your endowment policies, money back policies, and all of that, where they say that put some money, you will definitely get something later, you will get a component of life insurance, but they don't understand what it is. All they want is safe. I'll get maybe 5% return. When inflation in your country is more than that, that's not going to help you. That's not going to help you. So these are the things that we actually face with, like, we've seen there's a lot of improvement though. We've seen a lot more people actually getting involved in the conversations, where I see that, when I have a client, the wife also joins in for conversations, tries to understand what's happening. And one opportunity that we give them is to say that, hey, if you want to understand it separately on a call with me, do that. Get on a call with me. You don't need to, like, ask questions in front of your husband if you're not. After that, just get on a call with me saying that, hey, what is this, sir? How do I look after this? I may have some savings on my own. It may not be as significant as my spouse. We should sort of encourage all of that. Otherwise, we're not going to move forward. So, see, the thing is, the earlier you start, the sooner you're able to start is better, to be honest. Because if you notice that, I mean, it's true for the two of us, where when we were in school or college, we wouldn't have learned about finances, what is taxes, what is insurance. You're in adulthood, and you realize that, damn, I have to file my taxes, I have to pay taxes. What is happening? I need to take an insurance. I don't have my parents to pay my insurance bill. So it is you have we had to actually start a long back. We have to do a lot of catching up. But I would say that it's basic things where, even if young girls, that's something that you're taught in school or college. Okay, school may be too early, but yeah, kids are smart these days. They'll pick it up. But the sooner we can actually catch up on all the lost time that we've had, the better. See, generally I'll just name out few general life stages that are there, but there is like a sort of common advice that is given for all, like a basic thing. This is like your basic requirement that you should have. Even if you are just starting to work, you are planning to get married, you're a single mom, you're taking care of your parents, you're planning to retire, you're retired. All of these stages, right, require you to have four basic things, right? First and foremost is an emergency fund. Now, what is an emergency fund? Emergency fund is nothing but 4 to 6 months of your expenses, right? Your routine expenses is you need to save that and keep it, so that if at all there is some requirement, you can dip into that, right? Second thing is health insurance. Health insurance, at least a 20 lakh health insurance per person. If you have that, that's going to help you covering all the medical costs that you will have. Third thing is taking adequate life insurance cover based on the people who are financially dependent on you. Because if somebody is dependent on your income, if that income is no more, right, they will still live. You need to protect them. So taking adequate life insurance for that. Fourth is having a wealth creation portfolio. A wealth creation portfolio is something which, you've taken care of your general requirements, but you need wealth for the future, right? You need to be able to beat inflation, have good growth in your portfolio. So a portfolio to help you do all of that. And I feel like going to your trusted financial advisor is going to be better, because they will understand based on your requirement to tell you that, see, it's generic out there, right? Just because my friend did this does not mean that it will work for me. So that's, a lot of people have this notion that, oh, I'm a single mother, my friend's a single mother, this is working for her. Not necessarily it should work for you, because your risk appetite may be different, your future goals may be different. The only thing may be your current scenario. So a financial advisor will sort of look at a holistic view and say that, hey, this is where you are right now, this is where you want to be, and these are the steps that you as an individual need to take, because it has to be personalized, right? So that way, in the end, yes, having a trusted person to go to seek all this professional advice is also very important. To be honest, I feel these apps kind of create a choice paralysis for you, because there's so many options out there, right? What do you choose? I have first of all, which app do I choose from? Now, once I enter that app, what do I do? Right? I have I this is my life, this is the X amount of money that I can save, but the one single app will give you multiple options on what to do. So, what I always feel is when you're getting started, right, when you're trying to understand all of this, having someone to guide you is better than you deciding to say that, oh, the app says that I need to do, say, wealth creation X amount. But will the app take into account that you might take a break from work to do your masters? Will the app take into account that you may have to, for example, for married women, take a break when it comes to their childbirth or any family issues, right? So that human touch factor is something which you really need when it comes to investments, and trying to understand what it is. Maybe yes, maybe some 7 to 10 years down the apps will do all of it, but even now there are things where sitting with your advisor, going through, talking about your life to that person telling you that, hey, you know what, let's start with this. Maybe let's not prioritize this for you right now. For the first 1 year, let's sit and do this. And sitting and reviewing it. You will not be, and what happens with an app is, it's fine if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, there is a lot of emotional bias that comes into picture where suddenly if there's a market crash, imagine you started investing Jan 2020, okay? Markets crashed in March 2020. Jan to March, you've gone through a roller coaster. If there's nobody to guide you and tell you that, hey, it's okay, continue your investments. If you need money, take it out from your emergency corpus, but don't stop your wealth creation component. An app is not going to tell you to do that, right? If you click stop, it'll stop your investments. Yes, maybe we'll tell you that, we'll give you a pop-up saying that, okay, this is what will happen if you stop, but you're just going to click continue and go ahead with it. But that's not when there is somebody out there who's going to help you to do it, right? See, another example is now people, after COVID, people understand the need for insurance. Okay, people know that you need to have insurance, and you have so many apps and websites out there to help you. But how do you know what kind of insurance you want to take? For example, now I want to take a life insurance. I know that there is a term policy out there is a ULIP policy out there is endowment, there is money back, there is some pension plan. How do I know what to take? I need to go through the pros and cons. I need to figure out with unbiased decision for me to take is not going to be easy. See, if I was not in this field, it's not an easy thing to do, right? But if you have somebody to tell you, isn't that better that somebody telling you, hey, you know what? You don't need any of it, because sometimes a single mother with 2 children needs a high term insurance cover. But just a single person, single woman, may not even need life insurance. So if there's somebody out there who's going to tell you, do this or don't do this, right? That is something that I feel women need to get there. And yes, if you know how to do it, use the apps, get it done, instead of just thinking in your head that, yeah, I'll get it done. But if you don't know where to get started, please talk to someone. Just initially set the base, understand what your requirements are. Maybe once you are okay doing it on your own, go ahead, but don't just burn your fingers by using things that you're not sure of. I would say that, do not say this thing that where, let me reach this amount. I just started earning maybe the first year, let me just have fun with the money that I've got up. Because people call that independence. That is one part of independence, like I was saying, right? It's one part where you have money, you can do whatever you want, there's nobody to question you. But I believe that that's the best time for you to get started by building an emergency fund. Because I see a lot of younger generation crowd where they like to take breaks from work, right? They feel like, hey, this corporate job is not for me. I want to take a break from work. What do you do then? Do you go back to your parents? So the best thing I always tell them to start is start with an emergency fund. Have it in like sort of a liquid fund so that it's one day money. You're able to withdraw it whenever you want. It does not have market fluctuations that is there. Okay. So when you have that, you know that at least, yeah, I have 4 to 6 months of my expenses saved somewhere. So start saving with that. Don't delay it. So there are times where I tell my clients that you start with wealth creation later, but first you need to focus on emergency fund. get your emergency fund sorted, then go to next, because what's going to happen is if you don't have adequate emergency fund, you don't have adequate medical insurance, you don't have adequate, your basic things to take care of unforeseen expenses, and you start your wealth creation portfolio directly, if there is an emergency, you will withdraw it out of your wealth creation portfolio. See, if you have an emergency fund, you know that, hey, I need to go for this. Have a holiday fund, use that. If, God forbid, you're admitted in the hospital, use your medical insurance. And yes, the need to take a life insurance, make sure if, try to stick to a term plan, the term cover. What a term cover is, a very simple form of taking a life insurance where you get a big sum assured for a very nominal price. Take that and keep, if you have somebody who's dependent on you financially, because otherwise you may not need it. It's something that you can decide on case to case basis, but have that so that in case even if you are not there, somebody, there's some amount taking care of your loved ones. I've seen that a lot, because there's, see, it's, you can sort of take any decision you want in life if you've taken your finances, you've got your finances sorted. Imagine a single mother where she has to take care of her child's education, okay? She has to take care of her retirement. If she knows that there is a plan in place which she does this, her child's education is sorted. If she does this plus her PF and all of that's going to help her retirement, she's going to feel so much more confident, because we Indian women are sort of, there's a lot of family pressure that we get when it comes to finances and all of that. You may fall into it. Okay. So when you have your finances sorted, you can be like, see, I am working, I'm taking care of my child, I have my finances sorted. That confidence is what helps women to go up there. First thing is, like I was talking about, I know I've mentioned emergency fund a lot, but that is extremely important. Like, put it into a fund. See, there's something called as a liquid fund or a debt fund. Save it into that and keep it. It's easy money. You can withdraw it whenever you want. So that is one thing that you can do for your emergency fund. You could also use fixed deposits and recurring deposits, but do keep in mind that they aren't as liquid. Yes, they do fetch decent amount of returns, but they aren't as liquid, right? And see, now for example, now I am setting aside an emergency fund in a liquid fund versus a recurring deposit. I set aside 10,000 every month in both. Okay. After 10 months, I realized that, hey, I want to take out 20,000 from it. If it's a liquid fund, I can just take 20,000, the money is credited to my account. My monthly inflows still continue, outflows still continue into the fund. But in a recurring deposit, there is a huge possibility that I'll have to break the recurring deposit, take whatever is there, start a new RD. That, why is it very important, is because it's not easy to start things back again. You are in that flow. Once you've started it, you will continue. Okay, an RD may fetch you maybe 0.5 to 0.75 more returns, but the thing of you starting it back again, saving it, I've seen that doesn't happen. So, yeah. So people ask me, hey, why now FD rates are increasing? Why aren't you recommending an RD? I'm like, this is the reason. Are you sure you're going to start it back? Yes. If there's a financial advisor for your next review, he or she is going to question you, saying that what happened to that recurring deposit that you started, right? So that's fine. Then the second thing is, see, the amount of medical expenses that are on the rise. You just go for, like, my colleague was admitted in the hospital recently. 4-5 days, the bill was more than 1.5 lakh. Fever, just fever and all of that. See, and you will definitely want to go to a decent hospital knowing that you have a health insurance, right? But what about those people who don't have a health insurance? So I would say that minimum 20 lakhs of sum assured is what the need is right now. And then, yeah, based on which provider you're comfortable with and all of that, have your basic medical plan sorted. So that is, see, a corporate cover will always be there. Like, for example, if you're working for a corporate, they will give you an amount of insurance. But I would definitely say that have something over and above your corporate. Why do I say that? In case you decide to take a break from work, move to another company, what happens then? The new company may not give you insurance. Then what? You take a break from work. No corporate's going to cover you, right? So have something on your own. And the third thing is have a term insurance if you have somebody who is dependent on you financially. Yes, you may go for other, investment insurance options, but start with a basic term life insurance policy because that's what's going to help you. And see, there is a rule of 14 which is commonly used. It's a rule of thumb. That's the bare minimum life insurance you require. But that's not exactly right. Rule of 14 works in a way where imagine your annual expenses are 12 lakhs. You multiply it by 14, that is the amount of life insurance that you need bare minimum. But it's better to consult with somebody, understand that, hey, is this enough? How much more do I need to take? At a point, if my life goals are changing, do I need to top up this cover? Can I stop this cover? So that is, there are effects after that. And the last thing is set up systematic investment plans. Now, what are systematic investment plans? This is going to help you with everything. Systematic investment plans is nothing where you decide to invest in a fund. Systematic investment plan will link your bank account and that fund. So every month on a particular date, money will leave your bank account, go and invest, go and sit in that fund. It's automatic. So that way you don't have to figure out how much do I invest this month. Oh, I got busy with work, I couldn't invest this month. No excuses out there. So use this to create your wealth creation portfolio. After health insurance, emergency fund, and life insurance, whatever surplus is left, decide that, hey, I will invest this every month with an SIP. Systematic investment plan is also called as SIP. I will set it up every month so that I can create a portfolio which is, not only going to help me generate wealth, but beat inflation in the long run. That's what you need eventually, right?
Thank you, Kiran. This has been just superbly insightful, just so interesting as well. Thank you so much for your time and for being so open with all of your information and insights.
Thank you. Most welcome. Most welcome.